Ring around the rosy. Pocket full of teeth. Ashes in your eyes.
The Ashen Circle. Part 1, The Song Returns. The playground had been closed for years. Its swings rusted stiff. Its roundabout sunken half into the soil. But when the town raised new funding and the workers came with paint and polish, children returned like sparrows to a feeder. The air filled again with voices. Laughter. The scrape of shoes on climbing frames. And then, the song. It began with two girls on the slide, humming softly, circling each other as though they had practiced it 1,000 times. Ring around the rosy. The words carried on the breeze, caught by the ears of others. Soon a full circle had formed near the sandbox, their hands clasped, their feet stamping in rhythm. Parents smiled at the quaintness, until the first child fell. He dropped to his knees at the last line. Eyes rolled back. A hush fell. Then a laugh. Then unease. He woke moments later, whispering ashes. Ashes. In a voice too low and too aged to belong to him. At home that night, the town historian stirred awake in his attic office. Old parish records had shifted in their drawer. Pages about plague years, when children sang rhymes around infected cottages. He read the brittle script with shaking fingers. They circle the sick, and they fall with them, so the flame may know where to burn. Part 2, The Empty Pockets. By the end of the week, the rhyme had changed. The children no longer sang about roses or posies. Their voices rang with a new line, clear and unlearned. Pocket full of stones. Pocket full of teeth. Parents searched their children's clothes with nervous laughs, but their smiles died quickly. In pockets they found blackened nails, fragments of bone, bits of cloth scorched at the edges. One mother pulled from her son's shorts a row of small yellowed teeth, strung together by a loop of hair. He swore he had never seen them. Not once. The school janitor, uneasy, checked the security feed. On the grainy screen he saw the children circling, but more hands joined them. Pale, thin, almost translucent hands, guiding their movements. At the end of each verse one of the extras vanished, pulled into the ring of children with no sound at all. That night a teacher emptied her jacket and found ashes inside the pocket. The dust was still warm. She called her sister, her voice trembling, and whispered, "The song is not ours anymore." Part 3, The Falling Down. The song did not stay in the daylight. At night, townsfolk heard it threading through the wind. First faint, then clear, as though sung at their windows. By morning, neighbors found sleepwalkers collapsed in their yards, soil scorched beneath their hands in blackened rings. The playground itself had changed. Grass refused to grow where the children danced. The mulch darkened to brittle flakes. Someone claimed the circles had burned from below, as though the soil itself had exhaled fire. Those who woke remembered nothing, but their fingernails were dark with soot. Their shoes blackened. At the grocery store, one man coughed a cloud of gray dust into his palm, leaving prints of ash along the freezer doors. That evening the hospital morgue reported scorch marks across its lawn. No one admitted being there. Yet the circle had formed clean and deep as a brand. The historian returned to his desk and found another record missing. On the floor lay the torn fragment. When the song leaves the children, it calls the sleepers instead. Part 4, Ashes, Ashes. The words twisted again. Ashes in your lungs. Ashes in your eyes. Those who heard the children sing began to cough. Spitting flecks of soot. Their eyes rimmed black. Not from sleeplessness but from dust that seemed to settle inside them. Doctors swabbed throats. Tested samples. Burned through vials of antibiotics. The results were worse than inconclusive. The black specks carried no bacteria. No spores. They matched human remains. Charred bone turned to dust. Children continued to gather. Circling faster. Stamping harder. Parents screamed at them to stop. But the kids only smiled faintly. Their mouths moving without sound as though the song belonged to someone else entirely. The historian found his hands blackened after turning another page. The ash fell not from the chimney, but from the parchment itself. It read, "The circle widens with each breath, until none are left to stand." At night the coughing spread across the town. Shadows spun in windows. Not human shapes but blurs. Always circling. The ash rained harder, though the skies were clear. Part 5, We all fall down. The circle became unstoppable. No longer confined to the playground. It spread through homes and streets. A boy hummed at the dinner table. His mother dropped her fork. His father's hands shook as he found himself joining in. By morning, the entire street had gathered without command. Spinning slowly. Stamping the earth. Ash drifted from nowhere. Coating rooftops. Sifting into lungs. The sick joined the dance. Coughing in rhythm. The dead followed too. Corpses from the hospital. From the cemetery. Blackened figures jerking into the ring. On the last night, the entire town gathered in silence. Hundreds circled as one. Feet grinding into black rings of ash. The sky glowed faintly with falling dust. The historian, his chest burning, forced open his window and saw them. And then, without sound, they all collapsed. Morning revealed no bodies. Only circles burned into the ground. Deep. Perfect. And endless. On the historian's desk the final line had appeared. Written in soot across the torn records. We all fall down.